Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Today's episode of The Mike O'Mara Show is brought to you by our bonus packages. Please go to MikeO'MaraShow.com and click on the bonus banner. You'll get access to all of our bonus content, and even better, you'll be helping out TMOS. So please quit sucking, and we thank you.
Available on demand every day in iTunes and the Google Play Store, and around the world on MikeO'MaraShow.com. What more can we do for you? It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
For some strange reason, I feel like I should invoke the Gregory Peck voice right now and just say, I don't know what to do. I don't know what. Hello, I'm Mike O'Mara. I'm a Floridian.
Yes.
I don't know what to do about the boy. I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. If you're wondering what I'm talking about.
Right.
Around the rest of the country. Places that have this little virus spiking again and places that don't. In Florida, yesterday, let's tip our hat, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, let me get the flourish here. Yesterday, Florida, that was Tuesday. We're taping the show on Wednesday. The state saw 2,783 new cases on Tuesday, the third time in a week that Florida set a new daily record. By the way, this is Wednesday, June 17, in the year of our Lord 2020, if you're keeping track. If you remember back in March when we were all scared, we're not scared down here anymore. So this is
are you all scared
dilemma.
out? Do you think that's the deal? Is you're just out of scare?
I think you run out of scare. You run out of scare, and then you read this. And what have I said on this show for a very long time? You're on your own.
Yes.
And what's sad is, as difficult as it is, you might remember last Wednesday, 1 week ago tonight, I was out with my pals inside in a watering hole. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
There's a scale that came out.
I'm not scared.
There's a scale that came out that gave like the most high risk activities.
Yeah, I saw it. We're number 9, Oscar. Yeah. I know that. I'm aware of it.
So
number 9. Number 9.
Thank you.
DEFCON level 1 to 10, 9 being what Mike did last Thursday.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. There you go.
And I look. I don't envy you being in your shoes or my friends in Arizona, where like they are literally living in a space. And I'll give you Corleone's, and I'd love to get your take, as I talked to him yesterday about this.
Right.
He said that nobody talks about COVID-19.
Right.
And nobody really addresses the elephant in the room of what's really going on health-wise.
Right.
So true. It's completely ignored because you're dealing with a majority of people, at least around me, that have a certain attitude where if you don't talk about it, it'll just go away. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to, it's not hard. I'm sitting with my wife this morning. I see this week that we've had. I'm like, I love my little man, love him to get out on the baseball diamond. Ain't going to happen. We're back to where we were. We're back to square one. We're back to hunkering down as far as, essential trips to the store with masks. By the way, everything I'm reading, everything I'm hearing is masks, masks, masks. Why is this a disconnect? What is wrong with look, we know what's
wrong. People's rights, Mike's. It's people's rights.
It's but I mean it has been shown to work.
I know.
It's shown to be effective. I read a story this week about somebody that had it and was in a salon and wore a mask and treated like 140 salon visitors, and not one of them got it.
Right.
And she was just because she was wearing a mask and they were wearing a mask. I don't think it's that big a deal.
Don't wear a mask in a public. If you do wear a mask in a public area, then you're considerate of others. If you don't, you're selfish.
Yeah. Right. That's it.
Yeah.
Empathy.
But it's never going to happen in our country. Again, we've done it again. We've done it again where my ignorance is just as valuable as your opinion
and my freedoms.
That's an educated opinion. My ignorance trumps your reading, paying attention, being considerate of others.
Excellent choice of verb, Mike.
It's really amazing to me right now that I'm watching this and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Wait, stop. I got lulled into a false sense of security. I totally did. Because as Oscar nailed it with the number one thing that his friend Michael Corleone said, no one's talking about it. And Michael lives in Arizona. Yeah. I live in Florida. These are both older populations that are vulnerable. The situation in Arizona, far more difficult than it is here in Florida, just on hospital beds being available.
Absolutely.
But I'm told, guess what? Just minutes ago, I watched an infectious disease doctor who said, here's how it goes. Spike in cases, then spike in hospitalizations, then spike in deaths. That's the way it goes. So when you're hearing, and I don't believe that the facts lie. I don't care about the testing nearly as much as I care about my son and my family and my own fat ass, and I emphasize fat ass, and my advanced age, of what might happen getting this thing. So here we are, and we kind of are rolling back where we go, and I'm curious. Really kind of sucks.
I'm curious on your end. Like, look, I maybe I'm just so selfish that self-preservation drives me to wear a mask and do the best we can here, even at work.
I don't know if that's
I don't
selfish,
have the same
though.
chip.
I don't think that's selfish because, I mean, self-preservation is one thing, but selfish would be if you didn't care about others. But you're protecting yourself and protecting others.
We're not, I guess, beyond fault, but I'm okay with going out to places. As long as I do what I need to do, what's best for myself and my family. Like, I'll wear a mask. If you want to break my balls about wearing a mask, that's your prerogative. I don't even judge you for that because
Rob,
I'm just taking care of my family.
Taiwan dealing with coronavirus.
All right.
Read about Taiwan and what they did. Seriously, if you want to hear about I think the best country in the world for dealing with this, what they did. How did Taiwan survive the coronavirus? Also, you're going to be blown away by what they do and what they did. And Asian countries, in many cases, have dealt with these pandemics more than we have. And I am just in a situation right now where I just think I'm back to where I was, where you're on your own.
Think about it this way.
Yeah.
Take the virus out of this equation and just say there is something ominous coming our way. If everybody in your state, not everybody, the majority, and then Arizona and all these other hotspots, forget the politics, are just sticking their head in the ground, this boulder that's rolling down the road is bound to kill a lot more ostriches than people that are running around trying to get out of the way.
Well, I think that you're going to have the vast majority of Americans are not going to be killed by this virus, and so it doesn't matter to them. That's it. Americans, it matters to Americans when their neighbor gets it, their mother gets it, their sister gets it.
We've always picked and chose our news.
So this is what I hear just yesterday. So I asked Michael, I was like, do you know anyone that's got this, that's outside of this 60 to 80 year range,
right?
Outside of like the nursing homes. He goes, yeah, 23-year-old waitress in Scottsdale. She's got it. Her mom got it. Her sister got it. Her brother got it. Her father has it now.
Yeah.
Boom.
Bam, 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 bam.
In a week's time.
And we continue because that's what we do now. All we do is argue. All we do is my reality and your reality. If I'm telling you a fact that I read and I'm concerned about it, I'm somehow succumbing to artificial information. It's so not true. It's a lie perpetuated by a particular political class, and you got to take care of your own ass. This has gotten ridiculous. It's killing. Yes,
Mike, Taiwan. Their success in fighting coronavirus has bolstered its global standings. This is from CNN. It says, while many governments struggle to contain the spread of the coronavirus, Taiwan appeared to have it largely under control. In January, the self-ruled democratic island of 23 million people banned
23 million people, by the way.
Banned incoming travel from mainland China. Soon after, cruise ships could no longer dock there. By March, 2 months later, domestic face mask production was also increased. Keep in mind, we didn't even think it was an issue in America till St. Patrick's Day. Right. So they are already on it by the time we're starting to realize it.
Right.
As of Saturday, Taiwan has, and this is in May, this is an article from May.
23 million people on that island.
Taiwan has recorded 440 cases and 7 deaths, according to data from Johns Hopkins. By comparison, Australia, with a population of 25 million, has reported more than 7,000 infections and 98 deaths. Eager to share its experience in fighting COVID-19, Taiwan is now pushing for greater voice in global health discussions. The United States, Japan, New Zealand, support in there to join the meeting of the World Health Organization. China's pissed off about it. The basis is that they acted fast, they acted decisively.
Agreed, but there are some factors that go into a lot of it. Also has to do with socioeconomic. A big reason experts are saying that the states are being hit so hard is because of our socioeconomic status in the world, where we had these clusters of elderly in homes that this thing ran like wildfire through.
Yeah.
And just decimated them.
Mm-hmm.
And in socioeconomic, like third world countries, most elderly live with their immediate family. They don't have a home to go to with others that are of high risk.
Yeah, they don't round them up. They take care of their own.
I get the idea of the economy. I get it.
It should work both ways, though. You should be able to save your loved ones.
Yeah.
If you have more.
It shouldn't be a debate.
No.
The number one priority is lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can come back, hopefully, but that's not the great American attitude.
And what I didn't highlight here is, so I said, and we haven't been able to talk to anybody, Mike, and I don't know anybody outside of our handyman, that we used in the past, that he said one of his guys passed away from COVID, and he went through it, and he gave me like a quick glance at what it feels like to get it when you're in your 30s, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then, so I asked Michael, I said, what about this this young lady? He said, like, she's in the throes of it now, and it's terrible. She's 23.
Yeah,
like just the pain
on the individual.
Yeah, but just the pain alone for whatever period this gets through your system, that would be a wake up call, I would imagine.
But until it hits close to home, no one in this country is going to do that, and that's why certain people are able to get away with misinforming the public. And make no doubt about it, history will judge this as misinformation.
Oh yeah,
and cherry picking data to fit. I'm sorry. It's impossible for me to believe that there are people that are doing this on the other side for political gain. I don't believe it. Erring on the side of caution is going to save lives.
Yeah.
That's all this is.
And there's two things here that are really bad hand in hand, and that is the cherry picking of information that is being decimated to all of us.
That's the testing that's causing the rise in cases. We're just doing a better job on testing right now. Well, no. Data is showing that is not exclusively the reason that these numbers are going up. This is facts.
The flawed wiring in most Americans, ourselves included many times, of not in my backyard. They will hear what they want to hear. So you've got already filtered information being handed to people, and then them grabbing onto what they want to hear. The thing that, what everyone wanted to hear in March? This is only for old people. You know what? If I'm 17, I can go to the beach for spring break. They heard that one fact. They heard that one fact, and that's when we saw all those teenagers that went down to Florida for spring break and got themselves the virus because they hear what they want to hear.
We can flap our gums all day and talk about the debate, and you know where I come from politically, and that's fine. But here's what I'm going to say. I've said for a long time, you're on your own.
Right.
Figure it out. No, we're going to take one little step up on this show. You want to do what you can do? It's so easy. It's a mask.
Yeah.
That's it.
If you don't have them, if you haven't, just wear a mask. Wear a mask where you're going to feel uncomfortable wearing a mask. Wear a mask among your idiot friends that are choosing not to wear a mask. Do the right thing, because that is the bit you can do to maybe help a little bit. And then I also read the article saying that ultimately, before this is over, 60 to 70% of people are going to get it. I read that too.
Yeah, I think
that scares the
Rob
crap
called his shot.
out of me.
He was like, we all poo-pooed him. We're like, you didn't get that number. He was right. He did hear it correctly.
Yeah.
Well, years in medical school. VCU was a great organization of higher learning.
The Ram Medical School.
Yes.
I know what I know, and my job is to protect my family.
Yes.
And my job is to make sure we do the best we can with this. And when you got a guy that's towing the line, where you're talking about where stories come out on a regular basis, where people get fired because they're
Telling the
told
truth.
to censor data.
Mhm.
Yes.
Where are we? What happened?
Well,
What
I would
happened?
say-
I sometimes just
I would
throw
say-
my arms up and go,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Look,
Please. I mean,
People
if you're a Trump supporter and you're listening to me and you're in Oklahoma and you're going to be around tens of thousands of people that aren't going to be wearing masks in an arena right now, that's just not smart. That's not brave. That's not patriotic. That's just not smart. I don't want to see, and I don't. Johnny Liberal over here doesn't want to see people die. I hope to God that nobody gets it. But it's a very high risk. Oscar talked about the bars.
Yeah.
At least there's a small number in a bar, but when you're in an arena, inside,
well,
Rule
I
of
should
thumb,
I should
Mike, rule
highlight
of
the
thumb,
Phoenix
unless you're
bars
jumping-
can
I'm sorry, go ahead,
roughly
Oscar.
drop. You can get 300 people in them easy. Like they're indoor outdoor bars, so they make the
Right.
most of that square footage. It's a lot of people, not thousands.
But rule of thumb, if you're going to an event that doesn't involve jumping with a bungee cable, you shouldn't have to sign a release. That's just a safety. Keep this in mind.
it's this bravery. It's this. And Americans are great
Put
at that.
bravery in quotation marks, please.
Americans are brave. Basically, they're brave people. They get
Yeah.
challenged easily. We like to, that's why, by the way, that's why we're free today. Because you know what?
true.
Is it peer group pressure? Goddamn right it's peer group pressure. So we don't like anybody to question our bravery.
Look,
This is just being
why
smart
can't
for
we
others.
all be like Maddi Money, who I learned yesterday is like social distancing and a great, like she's doing what she can out of respect to our business and our
Right.
and our little ecosystem here. She's throwing a big party for tiramisu this weekend, if I'm not mistaken, for her cat.
Tiramisu, what she said.
cat.
You mean she's throwing a party for a dessert item?
No, for her cat. Tara.
Tiramisu.
Yes.
See, I don't know the details. I'm sorry, I'm not up there. Hi, I'm Mike O'Mara. I'm the CEO of this operation, and I really don't sweat the details. Is Tiramisu her cat?
It's her cat.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
And her
Did
birthday's
she
coming.
name it because it's a
and
is
his,
it a
and
brown?
his and his birthday's coming up.
Is it a brown cat? Is that why?
I think we might have discussed it together here on the program, Mike.
I wouldn't have remembered that.
Maddie,
the
what
cat
is-
got
what is-
the name because it tastes like cocoa.
Right.
Maddie, go ahead.
He is black and white. So not
Black
brown.
and white.
Yes.
That's
And
like,
and your,
To answer your
and your
question.
birthday party is a birthday party for two, excluding Terry, right?
Yeah, so it's just me and John, but
Yeah.
we're gonna go all out for Terry Meow Sue.
Carla was asking me where I'd like to go for my birthday party, my little birthday celebration next week. I said, you know what? Home.
Yeah.
Oh my
where
God!
we
You
will
know
be
what?
going
Do you
now.
know what Corona has done? We have totally overlooked birthday season.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But the fact is that that's the way it
We're
should
fighting.
be.
We're fighting for next year's birthday, not
Right.
this
that's
year's
right.
birthday.
Exactly. Like the
Yeah.
like the
As I
Emmy
told
Awards.
Shannon, get me next year. Get me
Yeah.
next year.
It's something that, well, I didn't tell Carla that. As far as gifts go. As a matter of fact, one might make a case for the fact that I am owed.
You're due.
You are very
I'm
much
due.
due. Yeah.
Not like I don't have a hobby that's easy to identify. It's very expensive.
Wait,
And there's the day of fatherhood this coming Sunday that must be
That's
recognized.
ir-
Mike,
irrelevant
are
to
you
me.
getting a new family member in the middle of birthday season?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Worst
right.
decision ever.
Friday.
All that
Friday.
shine easily goes off.
Let me
of
tell you, that is inside the house. That is our
Shine.
world. That's that to me. But that's when I not. By the way, we were in this Corona thing when I said, "Hey, fine, let's go ahead and pull the
Right.
trigger on the puppy." The puppy will be good for my son because it'll just be a diversion and more stuff to do. Especially when I have to pull him out of baseball because now, unlike the coaches, I'm paying attention to. No, really, not a mask in sight. Jesus
It's
Christ. People are
it's
so
it's
stupid.
terrifying to me that even a man like yourself, who was actually early on this, Mike,
Yeah.
as far as hey, this COVID thing's serious,
Right.
that we can easily fall out of our best practices,
Yeah, especially with little alcohol,
just like that.
especially with a little hooch.
Yeah.
But by the way, I was not even. I was really not. My mindset as of last week was a little different until kaboom, 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 and now I'm reading it, and then it gets back to the same thing.
Is that the Little
Baseball.
League season?
I know you love that. I know you love the Ken Burns
it's
baseball.
sad.
You love it so much more than I do. You love it so much
Well, it's
more than I
not
do.
directly impacting him.
Yeah. Yes,
But
turn
no,
it
and
off.
I
please.
hate the fact that it troubles me as a father as well. If you had to pull your kid out of something that they love because of the inadequacy of others.
Well,
You know,
no,
do you-
it's
do
not
you
that
think
big a deal. It's not that big a deal. It was a decision that I thought had to be made, and we made it
Right.
this morning.
Okay.
That's how long
What's
ago.
Carla's
we just
outlook on COVID?
had,
She's
Carla
probably
is an
younger
esthetician, and
and
she's been
bulletproof,
working.
right?
And she's working, and Carla wears a mask and one of those
Shields.
plastic face shields,
Yeah.
and she checks the temp of everybody that comes in to
She's doing the best she
get a
can.
treatment from
Yeah.
her because we need the money.
Mhm.
It sucks, but it's scary for her. I think she's younger. She probably doesn't look at it 1,000% the way I do, but we never have really very long discussions on this. We're kind of matter of fact about it. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Baseball, that's it. But it gets back to leadership. I'm sorry. It gets back to looking up to people that are telling you the way it's got to be. Don't do that. Don't do that. You make your own calls, especially if this is not political. I swear to you. You make your own calls, especially if you've got people that you believe are diminishing the impact of this virus. Then you make your own
We're
call.
all on the same. I said, Shannon,
I agree.
don't look at the news. They have no. I mean, they both have a lens that you have to make your own decision. And in this house,
look at the data. We happen to be lucky enough to have a new data board that was put out in Florida by the young lady. And by the way, you know what happened with that?
What?
You know why? Now they can't BS it anymore.
Right.
Because there's the other data board out there, and they're not going to lie because the data is not, you can't twist it. You can cherry pick certain amounts of data from counties and things like that, but you can't take the raw data, hospitalizations, infections, testing, because she's putting it up there. They have to report
for
it
the
now.
world to know.
This is like a magical
Yeah.
moment when a gas station opens up next to a gas station, and they have to match prices. They have to. It has to match up. It's a total check and balance field. Now they can't trick you
They
anymore.
can't cheat anymore with the data, and I think that's why you're seeing the reporting coming out of my home state. So you're on your own. Wear a mask, and we're back to where we're. As far as the Northeast is concerned, I like what I'm seeing up there too. By the way, that's the data. If the media is so dishonest, why aren't they saying the whole country is going through an outbreak right now? Why are they saying no? This area, the great state of Maine, some other areas, it's diminishing a bit. They're saying right now it's moved out of New York, and that which they were saying all along. I'm trying to find the dishonesty. I'm trying to find the fake, but I really don't find the fake.
It's fascinating for the city because even my block, and my block is not representative of, I think, majority of America, but in my block, I imagine everybody except for the Fantanas and maybe one other neighbor have a vacation home. They've been at their vacation home since January.
Sure.
They're not coming back. Parking's fantastic. The one
Have you
upside where
seen-
you're like, I didn't park anywhere.
When you're
We're good.
outside, are you seeing any rats on ventilators?
I did see one rat yesterday. That's a sign of progress.
A coughing rat.
I said, thank God the rats are back, because that means
Rats are
people are starting to come back.
Yeah. It's a scary time, folks.
Always a win in my life.
It
let
It
me
is.
tell you.
Yes, yeah. Let me see. Surge 2,783 cases. If that had happened on March 3rd, it would have been world news.
Of course.
Right now, it's just like, you know what it is down here where I live? Are you going to have the tuna melt, or are you going to get turkey on Swiss? Duh.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at www.mikeomarashow.com.
Stay tuned for an outstanding entertainment program.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
Let's get down to business.
From the entertainment capital of the world.
One of the greatest comedians in comedy, Patton Oswalt. Check him out. He's got a Netflix special, and it is funny, funny, funny. Welcome to the Mike O'Mara Show from the Podcast Village Studios in our nation's capital. Also heard in Lawrence, West Virginia, Starbuck, Washington, Blue Earth, Minnesota, Clancy, Montana, Condom, France. I always stop on that one. I can't help it. And Tamuning, Guam. All right. Our show today is right on to the kids commercial now. Our show is brought to you by KiwiCo. You might feel like your kid's summer break started way early. Oh, yeah. if you've been stuck at home together. But now the vacation is actually here. Learning doesn't have to stop for the summer because KiwiCo can deliver a science fair or an art class right to your door. It's on the kitchen table. It arrived this week. We are getting ready to do our constellation lantern and a solar spinner for exploring the stars. And believe you me, I have a 6-year-old boy that is ready to explore the stars. He is smart, smart, smart. You heard him on the show this week. These are real engineering, science, and art projects for children and parents. The quality is amazing. And Michael loves getting his KiwiCo crate. It's fantastic. Plus, there are different crates for kids of all ages. I think we should mention that more often, that the different projects are laid out by age. So that's how it works. Something for every kid. KiwiCo, redefining play with hands-on projects that build confidence, creativity, and critical thinking skills. There's something for every kid or kid at heart at KiwiCo. We genuinely love it. Get your first month free on select crates at kiwico.com/TMOS. That's KIWICO.com/TMOS, and I'll give you a review on the constellation lantern. That just I saw it. I went to the instruction pack, and by the way, the KiwiCo crate comes with detailed instructions that are really easy to negotiate, but they let you learn as well. And then I can't even tell you what the solar spinner is because we haven't done it yet. But I know it's a Kiwi crate, and I know it's going to be fantastic.
Question for you:
it too.
You're far enough away from any real metropolitan area. Do you have a good star viewing experience at night?
Oh,
Yes.
that's a great question.
Yes, we do. Absolutely.
Because I know that around here
they're
you
putting
don't.
street lights in on our main drag out here.
Well, ever
so
since Burt
that's
Reynolds, passed.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
that
you go
many
down to
stars.
Jupiter and you can see
Yeah.
stars all the time.
Stars. Yeah, the stars are
Stars.
coming out. Stars. Fantastic. I love stars. So I appreciate you letting me vent on the reality that is where I live and what we're going through here. And that's
I think it's a great reminder.
Also,
I got an email this yesterday from Twitch from Mark Riddell. He said there's a brand new record store opening in Hagerstown, Maryland. And he said, what do you say we get gloves and masks we had and we go look at some vinyl this weekend? And I said, you know what? That sounds like a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I thought about it last night, and the more I thought about it, and the more I thought about it, and you come in and you start laying out really what are just facts. And when I hear what you need to hear, I'm going to have to pass. And you know what? It's because were I to do that, would I enjoy myself? Yes, it's what I do. I love records, but it's selfish. Selfish for me, and it's selfish for anyone that goes in there and touches those same pieces of plastic that everyone's been touching for the past 10 weeks. You can't do
it's
it.
interesting. Figuring we're not doctors, we're not scientists, so you
No.
kind of err on the side of what your gut's telling you. And I think
Right.
I can't argue with you. I understand that when the gloves for me are with all the data and all the information I've read about are less relevant than the masks simply
Sure.
because of the airborne nature of this and the hand washing and the sanitizing.
Yeah.
You know, so if you went in and you had a mask on and but you don't know what 10 people might be in that store that are not wearing
Exactly.
masks.
And you know what? It's stupidly selfish for me to think it would be a good idea at any level. It's not. There's no reward on it.
I really, really can't wait till they have faster tests on the market right now. You can get tests, at least in the DC area. You can get them right away. You can go and get them right away. You don't get the results right away, but you can get them right away. You're gonna get an antibody test through Quest Diagnostics. It'll cost you roughly $150 if you don't go through your insurance and see if you have the antibodies. Two separate things. If you have COVID-19, you have symptoms or you're asymptomatic, they'll tell you right away. But if you've had it, the antibody test can do that.
Right.
I can't wait till I can walk across the street and do that.
Yeah.
So
You want to have it more available.
I wanna
and there are
know.
certain states, if you were happening to be bringing your family up to them, they want you to get tested so you don't have to self-quarantine
Smart.
for 14 days.
Smart.
So if you get a test within 72 hours of visiting that particular state, you can do that. I'll let you know if I'm going north. If this is bugging you, if the world is bothering you, if you're looking for something really a ray of sunshine, something that's going to make you smile, this is not the television show. I'm going to share it with you right now.
Oh, dear.
This is a television show for anyone who has a dismal view of mankind and wants to see what men and women were like in the 1600s.
Yeah.
way
and
back.
realize if you think we've got it bad now, I give you the show Barkskins on Nat Geo that I binged this week. My new
Bark
Canadian
Skins?
Bark Skins.
It sounds like a kid show.
It's not.
Backyardigans.
Hold on. Quiet mouth. My new Canadian dark 1600s death and mean show. This is all right. I'm not going to give you a spoiler alert other than give you the basic premise of the show.
All right.
Bark Skins, that is a name for indentured servants.
All right.
And in 1600s Canada, they sent people from the slums of Paris over to be with the settlers in Canada who would work as slaves, basically, for these landowners. And then after a period of 3 years, they would get their own land and be able to do the same to other people from the slums.
Isn't that technically
in
an
Canada.
indentured servant, though?
It's an indentured
That's what he
servant.
said, yeah.
That's what it is.
Okay.
A slave, which is another, it's a fancy
I
word
thought
for
a slave was like you get nothing back.
No, Oscar. Indentured servitude is like a slave with a lease, and you just
Yeah, exactly.
after 3 years.
I'm misinformed.
It's
I'm
a
sorry.
slave with a shelf life.
Yeah, exactly.
But a
yeah.
slave is for perpetuity, unless they escape, was a slave.
Yes, a slave.
Exactly.
Yes,
So
yes.
there are two
But
different things.
Well, they're two different things, but
Okay.
for that period of time, the guy's working for free and has to do whatever his landowner tells him to do. But that's the premise. There is a lot going on.
You left out a lot of things.
Oh my God! First of all, if you are to believe what you see, and who knows,
Right.
you know, even the record keeping from the 1600s, I'm sure there's a lot of dramatic license. All right, but if you're keeping track of this, if you like the idea of no one being redeemable, of no socially redeeming characters in the entire program.
Wow.
Where everybody has a level of depravity, where everybody is a little mean, no one's pleasant. I mean, no one. I mean, there isn't a smile or any kind of nice, kind interaction between anyone. It is, if they were going for, and it's Nat Geo that produced this,
Yeah.
Okay.
if they were going for harshness of what the world, that's the part that I like. I like the accuracy to what it may have been like. I like the isolation that they felt in the town, then the outposts outside with the Iroquois Indians that are out there, the Native Americans, the Native North Americans that are featured in this that really hate the French settlers. This movie has, if you're looking for dark and dismal, this is your
I'm a
cup of
history
tea.
rube. I just wikied what was going on in the history in the 1600s.
Right.
Yes.
All I think about when you get past 1800 is the Palace of Versailles. That's what I remember. I don't remember
this is
much.
That's a great building.
Nice stack of
Well,
bricks.
you know,
I've
if you
seen
look at
it,
King,
yeah.
if you look at King Louis, Marie Antoinette, the French
Yeah.
Revolution,
When was that?
comes way 1769. That comes way down the line. Not that I was a history minor, but that's a it's I think
I thought you were
double check.
there.
Okay.
Double check
I'll
French
check, I'll
Revolution.
check,
Make
I'll
sure
check.
I got that right.
got
I have a question for you, Mike.
Lay it on me, Rob.
Many years ago on this very podcast, all of us, actually, I disagreed with you two gentlemen on the movie The Social Network. And
Yes.
my problem with it is that it had nothing to root for. Everybody in it was evil. There was no positive force. Is there a positive force? Is there anything to root for likability-wise in Bark Skins?
You think there's going to be, and then there's not.
Well, you see, that's
Because
something anyway. Yeah.
But no, but every
1769.
Hey, how about that, huh?
Recall, baby, recall.
Guillotine, chop, chop,
Nice.
chop. Heads will roll. Yes, sirree. Yeah,
Chop,
beheading.
chop,
yeah.
chop.
You
Chop,
were into beheadings even back then.
That's
who's
right.
Who's on the chopping block now? Probably why I know it. But no, this is way before that. But the New
Sure.
World, where you've got the French up north, who still have an influence in Canada with Montreal and Quebec and all
Sure.
that. And I have my grandfather was French Canadian, so I pay attention to this stuff. But they are, I have to say, you will come to my house in the woods, and then you will be my wife. It is so
Tough people.
Let's bring it local.
Yes.
Party.
In 1606, for those of you that are in the know, you probably should know this. I should know this. Jamestown, Virginia, established the first permanent English colony in the American mainland.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, they don't get along with the French, and this takes place in the late 17th century as all this is going on. And I'll tell you something: the natives of the area, the people that were here first, that really control, they don't care for the English or the French who are over there.
The Great Plague happened in the late 1600s.
And by the way,
in
I
France,
read about
right?
it.
Or
London,
in England.
75,000 people killed 75.
Pretty good with my history. I'm doing
Wait a
pretty
second.
well with that. Yeah.
That number used to be big to me. Now it's nothing compared to what we're going through
Well, there
right
were
now.
less
I
people
cannot
then, yeah.
believe this.
Yeah.
And if you do
People
your
will be
research,
reading about
Oscar,
us someday. Yes.
if you do your research, Oscar, that Great Plague, not that great.
It wasn't that great at all. It is, first of all, here's what's great about the show. You really don't know who's going to die.
Right.
You never know who's going to die. Sometimes you think somebody's going to die and they don't die. And sometimes
And
you
they
think
mostly
a guy's gonna
died
be a
at
regular.
age like 28 then, right? They didn't live very long.
No, that's another thing that I'm wondering because
I'll find out right now.
The cast members are longer in the tooth, and I think that may have been the case. I think they are striving for historical accuracy. Here's what you don't get. You don't get classic, good-looking men
35.
and women. You get 35?
35 years old.
Oh, then this particular lady's definitely older. She's been in a lot of
They
stuff.
lived a hard,
lived on a lot of stuff.
35 years old.
Yeah, they probably looked a little older. I mean, I don't think you're looking at like Helen Mirren looks here.
Like a California raisin. They didn't have sunblock.
Barkskins, the name of the show.
Do you have any 45 that I can rub on my skin? I'm feeling rather sunburned.
To my doma. I will take you to my doma located outside of the gates, and we will have a celebration. I love the accents. The accents are fantastic. Like when my grandfather said to me on my first tap recorder, he sang this song from Tiny Tim, and this is what he said. Tiptoe through the daisies. That's what he said. And it was one of the biggest laughs in my family for a long time. My mother and my grandfather used to have a big debate because she was learning the French language in a school. And he had learned his French in Canada, and they had big arguments about how you pronounce the words. That's what they did. Do you understand that? That's
Very
the
different.
way it is. Yes. This is probably why those hockey players are so tough, because they came from these people that were dealing that. And my grandfather, God rest his soul, through the daisies. Yes, sir. God, I wish I could locate that tape.
Was it cassette or reel to reel?
Reel to reel.
Oh my God! Wow.
Little tiny baby reel to reel.
That's cool.
But, yeah. Okay. Oh, that's a guy I hung out with. I partied with that dude. That's how old I am.
Do you remember his two requests? His two requests when he was in studio.
Yes. Let me see if I've got it. He wanted lotion.
Yeah, Paquin's hand cream.
Paquin's hand cream, because he was a chronic creamer of his skin. And well, if you looked at Tiny Tim, he was like super pale, and
Yes.
you know his skin is gross,
Delicate
real
beauty.
gross. And was it Fresca?
No, he was sitting in the lobby of WJFK with a chilled 6-pack of Corona beer. No lime.
Corona beer. Corona beer. Tiny Tim. Hello, Mr. Mike. Hi, Mr. Mike. How are you,
That's good
Mr.
to
Mike?
see you, Mr. Mike.
How was he at the bar?
Would you like to know the bar that I went to see him at? Rob, do you happen to remember the name of the bar that I went to see?
Is
was
it
a
the
bar
same
that
place where you
sucked
saw?
me in.
Was it the same place you saw Tubby Boots? Yeah, I
Yes,
can't remember
yes.
the name of it. I'm
the
sorry.
Desert Lounge.
So it was more of a nightclub.
The Desert Lounge in Pasadena, Maryland.
Welcome
sir.
everybody to Pasadena, Maryland. It's a wonderful town, Mr. Mike.
And Tiny Tim's act. Tiny Tim's act was he did a running song. that he
Medley,
did.
right?
I think his whole first set might have been a medley.
Oh, cool.
And it's hysterical because you start laughing. You realize he's not going to stop. It's like, won't you come home, Bill Bailey? Won't you come home? Oh, tiptoe. And he just kept playing and playing. And I'm like, we're looking around going, he's not going to stop effing singing, is he? No, this is hysterical. Anyway, that's it. So,
Oscar, do you know his backstory, Tiny Tim?
I only know his hit.
He was a
Somewhere Over
colorful,
the Rainbow.
well, it was Tiptoe Through the Tulips, but he had a colorful sort of persona that was launched on America in the late 60s.
Do you know his backstory? The way you're saying it right
He
there?
was
Yeah,
he broke on the show Laugh-In, and then he actually got married on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. And to the time,
to
it
Miss
was
Vicky.
one of the highest rated moments in television history was late night television. And if you ever watch it and your skin does not crawl enough to leave your body, then you're not human, because it's the
He was
weirdest
so creepy.
thing. He was
so creepy, and she was so creepy.
Yes.
All right. Picture one of the Manson family members in a pretty white dress, and you'll get Miss Vicky. Look up a picture.
Did
Rob,
they
get
stay
a picture
together?
during the break. We'll take a break, and when we come back, I want to talk to Oscar Santana about fiscal responsibility in the Santana House.
Yes.
We've been trying to do that for a week. We'll do that when we come back right here on the Mike O'Mara Show. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. For all our sakes, we need to avoid crowds any way we can. But what if you need postage to send out letters and packages? Well, anything you can do at the post office, you can do at Stamps.com. Print your postage on demand and skip those crowds at the post office. No human contact required. It's that easy. Easy. Because I'm easy. Easy like a Sunday morning. They don't want me to fool around in the Stamps.com commercial. Stamps.com brings all the services of the U.S. Postal Service. Service. Don't put your hands on that surface, service. Right to your computer. It's fantastic. I've used Stamps.com. I can't even tell you how long I've used it. It's great. You know, you can stay hunkered down. And if that wasn't enough, Stamps.com now also offers UPS services with discount rates up to 62%. And with Stamps.com, you don't have to pay UPS residential surcharges. Stamps.com is the best, saving you time and money and keeping you safe at these crazy times. Right now, our listeners get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale without any long-term commitment. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in TMOS. That's Stamps.com, promo code TMOS. Stay safe, my friends. All right,
Mike, hold on. I need to show you this photo. Of course, that's Tim and Vicky.
She's pretty.
But also, I forgot one of the creepy things is that when she married him, she was 17.
That'll get you. That'll get you even in the 70s.
Okay. There's that.
That just made my flesh really
tough.
crawl.
That's tough.
She just got a driver's license. She can't buy cigarettes.
I need another haircut. I need another. What? Stay down.
Well, I think the problem might be the hair behind the headphones.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, now you're
much
talking.
better, much better.
Now you look like Geordi on Star Trek.
God, I took a shower.
If you had a little product, it'd hold it down. It would hold it down.
All right, I didn't put enough product.
No,
a little Aquanet.
You got to weigh it down.
Right on speak.
Got to weigh it down.
So, Oscar, you got two things going. You can pick whatever you want. You wanted to talk about Rob Ford, and you wanted to talk about fiscal responsibility in the Santana.
I would rather talk about fiscal responsibility.
This is a conversation you have with your wife.
Yes, and I actually had it because Maddi Masiello was look, for what it's worth, I think Maddie's 25 now. I don't know, 24. Who knows? Maybe she's 23. How old are you these days, Maddie?
I'm 23.
Okay, so 23.
Way too old for
close.
Tiny Tim.
She's so mature.
Oh, you're not 20. You're not 24 yet.
No, in December.
Yeah, so she's still like a young buck, right? Living her life.
All right. Yep. Absolutely.
And we're watching. I would say last Thursday down in the bullpen where we have like enough room to be more than 6 feet apart each.
Right.
I had thrown on Mad Money. It's like 6 p.m. comes on. I'm sure everybody wants to watch it. Not at all, but me.
Right.
So I have it on in the background because there's a big dip in the stock market, right?
Right.
Jim Cramer.
Yeah.
I can't picture you just sitting there, drinking your Yoo-Hoo, watching Jim Cramer.
Well, what I love is it's not him. It's not just Oscar watching it. It's the young people that work at Podcast Village. It's like, hey, Jim Cramer's on. Yay!
Technically, it's Maddie, my wife, and I. So
as I said, the young people. Right.
Everything you ever wanted to know about the logic of the stock market, you can get on that program. You can watch Jim Cramer, who's just screaming and yelling.
He's entertaining, Mike. He's entertaining.
His little old sleeves rolled up.
And
Tight sleeves.
Maddie says, "What network is this?" As she should know, as a 23-year-old, she shouldn't know. She shouldn't, right? It's CNBC.
Right, exactly. Yep.
And so we're all talking about these stocks, and Maddie says, I actually invested in one of the vaccine companies through my Robinhood app that we advertised here for.
Yeah, I remember that.
Maddi Masiello at 23, fantastic.
Yeah.
Make your money work for you guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Shannon was fiscally shamed because
Because of her lack of awareness
engagement
of
or anything. She's like, "How did you do that?" She's like, "The Robinhood app." Like,
well, think about Maddie for a
use the
second.
code TMOS.
How many interns have come through our door? How many interns have come from our door, and how many have have we wanted to hold on to? It just we love our interns, but the fact is, Maddie, can swing with the big dogs. We throw her in to host a game show. She hits it out of the park. She's smart, and she's a wonderful person. And
she's
we're
certainly
very
at one
lucky
end
to
of
have her.
She's certainly at one end of the intern spectrum. The ones that we hire. There's others that I don't even friend on Facebook.
Agreed. And really, I would say that she's at this point she's a full-fledged employee, right?
Right.
So
now,
hold on. I don't look at her
that is a throw under the bus. Dan O'Brien dig, and that
it's
is
not
Why
DC.
would you
It's
do
not
that
Dan.
out of the blue?
It's not Dan O'Brien.
What other Dan?
Oh, which Dan is it?
It was Dan Hoisington. Remember from the?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't
he worked at Chick-fil-A.
Dan O'Brien's a pal. You're friends with Dan
I
O'Brien.
love Dan O'Brien. Yes, and
Dan
his
O'Brien
mother.
was a great intern.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
One of the best. Yeah.
Debbie
Fantastic.
Carano O'Brien.
Yes.
Don't make
Thank
fun
you.
of Debbie's little boy.
You don't.
Okay,
Gotta
so
be careful with that.
I said, Maddie, that's very impressive. So Shannon was fiscally shamed.
Yeah.
Into downloading the app and buying some shares of her own for I would say two or three things that really tickled her fancy. And I said
yoga stocks or
no, she bought Nike, which makes sense,
Right.
and a few other stocks. And we're driving home, she goes, "Can you believe Maddie is investing at her age?" I said, "Yes, that's it's so much easier to invest now than it was when I was 23.
Right.
Where
Yeah.
you had to have a certain
like Robinhood.
You had to have some. You could buy fractions of a share now. I was unaware of that, which is pretty impressive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, "We should put more money into the stock market." And I said, "Shannon,
to pay for the Peloton."
I love you, but when you put money in the stock market, unless you're a
Right.
professional, you have to be prepared to use it. And there's something called a horizon, where when you're going to need the money or when you're actually going to cash into it. And our horizon is a moving target all the time. So I was like, all our money is into the home and this business. And I was like, and I'm good with that. I'm betting on myself. Hopefully it works out. I said, she goes, "Yeah, but what if you took a little of that and put it into the market? Because it is a buying opportunity." So I said,
Is that a phrase she picked up from Kramer?
"Yes."
Okay,
yes.
I thought so.
Buy on the dip. So
Put your hand upon your hip.
and I love
dip.
it, but it's this, I think, a classic this FOMO mentality of I'm missing out.
Right.
But unless you really know what you're doing, just go in. You just gotta put in some funny money and just hold it for 10 years.
If you're doing it yourself,
Yeah.
But I think that
Have you ever been a day trader, Mike, in your life?
No, never done it.
Right?
Never done it.
The people that I know that are successful doing that, that is their job.
That's what they do.
They do it all the time.
Every
Maddie,
day.
how much time do you spend paying attention to these little things? If you were doing a deep dive on a vaccine company, you obviously take a little time on your computer to look at investments.
All the information
Where did you get
is
that
there.
from?
Yeah, so I do look at everything online, and I'll see what's trending for the week, and then I'll probably check the app a couple times a day just to see how things are doing.
And does your dad still get insider information?
I wish. Are you kidding?
Rob,
How dare
Rob
you?
love that.
Mockinger. Rob, have you invested in Robinhood at all? Have you put when you're not putting up posts about your dog not trusting Jell-O?
He does not trust Jell-O, Mike. He does not at all. No, but I do have
or
2
pictures
shares of.
I'm looking at Rob's Facebook page, the window into his soul, or a picture of Groucho Marx and John Lennon going, "All hail," or a picture of Bob Hope and some lady that
Darling
says, "Now
love.
more than ever."
Hope
Who
and
is
love.
that?
It's hope and love now more than ever. We need hope and love.
Duh. All right, and moving right. And Linus doesn't trust Jell-O. And
I was having some
yeah.
Jell-O yesterday, and Linus he's one of his weakest traits is he is a definite begging dog when food is being consumed. And he came over, and I Googled. I said, "Can dogs have Jell-O?" And they said, as long as it's not the sugar-free Jell-O, just don't overfeed Jell-O because it can give your dog diabetes. I said, don't know how much Jell-O that would take. So I gave him a teaspoon of Jell-O, and he looked at
If
it.
you want to know what occupies Rob's day, you're getting as we're talking to a 23-year-old about investing in the stock market.
I still have 2 shares of Ringling Brothers that I was gifted when I was a child.
The now defunct Ringling Brothers.
Yes, it was not wise money.
That's
soured
valueless
me.
stock.
Soured me on the market.
So you really don't have those two shares anymore.
I have
the
them.
Companies that,
They're just
you've
useless.
got pieces of paper. Yes, they're
and
not,
they are. You know what? The piece of paper is gorgeous. Has a clown on it.
Well, you
Very
like
nice.
money, though. Have you ever dabbled in the stock market at all? Have you ever thought about buying a stock?
No, if I ever want to do that, I would just take about $600 and throw it out the window, and I would have the same.
That's the way you
return.
look at it.
Yeah, it's not. I don't understand this. It's the same reason I don't play craps in a casino. If I don't understand it, I can't win. Can't win at it.
It's a lot easier than you think these days, at least now.
But anyway, Linus looked at the Jello, smelled
All right,
it, and then looked at me.
We have to break.
Like he's like, dude, what are you doing?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Way to go. We didn't get to fiscal responsibility. We'll wrap that up when we come back because that's the Shannon part. Maddie, I'm proud of you. There you go. Anyway, we'll take a break and come back. Oh, my brain hurts.
I think social distancing had a lot to do with killing the circus.
On the Mike O'Mara Show. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. I had an idea about this speaks to what we were just talking about with Maddie. I'll tell you in a minute after the Legacy Box commercial. I love Legacy Box. If you want to know what it is, it's a super simple mail-in service. It preserves all of your home movies and pictures. They put them on a thumb drive, a DVD, or the cloud. Father's Day, wonderful gift. You cannot give a better gift than this for Father's Day. What are you getting, Dad? If you don't know, how about Legacy Box? You can do it right now. Help Dad bring that box of old home movies into the 21st century and preserve your family's past for the future. By the way, if you're listening to me right now, everybody's probably thinking about Father's Day right now. This is one of our fine clients that we have on the Mike O'Mara Show. It's a solid product. It's great. We've all used it. We know that. And if you're thinking right now about a Father's Day gift, this is something you can do, and you don't have to leave the house. You can do it right now. You pack and send your old movies and your pictures, and you do that. And by the way, if you have access to your family's pictures and you're in your dad's house
do it
or
today.
something, do it for him. It'd be great.
And you know what you need to know that's important is once you buy it, you don't have to send it in right away. Once you have the box, you're on your own schedule. Buy it now, get the deal, and then do it when you have a moment. But you got to do it now to get the deal. That's the thing.
Get started preserving your family's legacy today. Go to legacybox.com/TMOS to get an incredible 50% off your first order. Buy today to take advantage of this exclusive offer. Then send it in when you're ready. Legacy Box is great for you or someone you love, especially dear old dad. So go to legacybox.com/TMOS and save 50% while supplies last. All right, I was thinking a lot. We had a very good meeting after the show yesterday about the finances of TMOS, and we're going through it just like everybody else is going through it.
Everybody's being affected.
It's not easy, and we're thinking about how we're going to get through it. One of the things I thought about right after the show, and this speaks to kind of like putting up the stuff that Rob puts up. Rob, you titled the shows, correct?
As a rule, Pony and I put our heads together. I'd say I title about half.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's over. Our titling of shows has to be done differently, and I'm not saying it's over that you're not going to do it. But I was thinking all of the titles for TMOS shows, and let me bring them up right now,
Please.
They're all inside. They're all clever. They make sense to you if you listen to the show, but they don't attract you. Like Libertyville. Not Hated, Bonus Show, we've got Circumference Road, Pony Force. They're all, I think, when you think of viral videos, we're not doing what the big companies do.
That doesn't help the SEO. But when we have a guest on, we use the guest's name.
Right.
To pull them through,
So the days of being clever, clever doesn't get people.
They're over.
We've got today, coronavirus information.
Yeah.
All right.
Coronavirus
COVID-19.
COVID-19.
spike.
Yeah.
COVID spike.
Or you can put your own spin whim on it. Like COVID-19. Am I right?
It's not going to be as fun, but it also won't be as much work. But run it by Oscar before
please.
you. Put it up.
You can't do what you do anymore without running it through me.
Excellent.
All right.
But I think that I was thinking about one little thing to get a stranger to go COVID-19.
I agree. It's now more than ever. I agree.
I was thinking about could I lie about it too? Like too much N-word. just lie about what it is, and
it might
stuff
be
you click
extreme.
on because you're, I'm not going to go in deep because I got dark with it, and I thought about just weird stuff. So getting back to fiscal responsibility with your wife,
Right.
We talked about Maddie investing, and then Shannon said, "What's that about?"
This is work, and she was very impressed. And Shannon, if anybody really, she does not begrudge anybody's good fortune. And maybe that's why we get along so well. When something great happens to somebody, we are generally and genuinely happy.
It's a wonderful quality to have.
Fantastic.
And a good quality to have in a spouse.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so that's why we get along so well. There isn't the interpersonal jealousy between families or friends. We don't have that chip.
By the way, I love my wife more than anything, but my mind's spinning right now, and I think that my wife has a little of that, but I'm not 1,000% sure.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I mean, if I have something, I'm really good at it. I'm really good at it. One thing I say to my wife about her business and her fledgling business that she's starting is proud of you. I genuinely see the enthusiasm she has for it, and I like it. Now, it helps me because it's coming into our home, but that's not the same thing. This is somebody who has raised my son and now is, venturing, now that Michael is school age, venturing out into the workforce. I'm not sure how much of the chip I have or how much of the... And anyway, go ahead. I'm just...
I'd have to ask
for
Carrie.
getting that off your chest. Yes.
I don't know.
What's that?
I'd have to ask Carrie. I don't know. She cares.
So, I said, do you know why Maddie is probably so well aware of what a possible opportunity is? Because it's really putting all that information together.
Right.
I said, because she watches the news and she's informed. And that information lends her to I wonder what this looks like. It all these dots come together. And for a while now, I would say up till maybe a year ago, my sitting down to watch the old man nightly news on NBC at 11 p.m. or whatever it might be, was always kind of mocked, being going upstairs to watch the Heart of Dixie. And I said, if you watch the news, you get to see all these things that are happening, and you are
engagement.
You are smart enough to put that together. To say, I wonder if that's a publicly traded company. Do I have an extra $50, $100? What are the shares at?
Okay.
I said, and you're sitting here next to someone. I was like, you have your own income that I don't even deal with. We have separate accounts. You can do whatever you want with it, right?
Yeah.
I said, if you want to throw into the market and build yourself a nest egg and try, I was like, I'm happy. I was like, I've been screaming about Logitech ever since the pandemic hit because I knew everybody was going to buy
cameras.
And
Right.
then I said,
remember.
let's pull that up. I pulled up the chart and I was like, yeah, could have made a pretty penny.
Yeah.
Right.
These are all what are people going to need during plastics? Oil's down.
There's some money in plastics. You got to go into plastic.
Yeah, it takes oil to make plastic. A lot of masks.
So how did she receive this?
She goes, I never realized that this is so I guess the transaction's so easy. And I said, it's not your fault. Robinhood was an advertiser on the show, and if maybe you could buy that, then maybe the box that comes with all the girly stuff, and you can think about that sometimes. Look at all our advertisers; they're all their portfolio, something for everybody, right?
Right, exactly.
But more importantly, I said, Shannon, you are so lucky to be with me that you are afforded all these chances to learn from me.
God.
That
the fiscal responsibility.
You can do whatever you want.
Married.
Take some chances. Enjoy.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, don't buy penny stocks.
So does
Not
this
the pink
mean
slips.
Shannon's going to invest in the stock market?
I think she will. She will. But more
make sure
importantly,
she
she's
catches it on a
invested
down day.
in news, world news. Now,
Shannon, this is T.O. Mike speaking right now. Shannon, okay, buy on the rumor, sell on the news. There you go.
don't buy more than one share because we simply can't afford it.
Buy on the rumor, sell on the news. That's what I would tell you.
Stay away from movie theaters and circuses.
Yeah. I think you can get AMC for a song right now.
Song, an absolute song.
Absolutely.
Maddie, words to live by.
I will keep that in mind.
And Maddie, any stock tips for our listeners today?
Well, the vaccine is Moderna. I highly recommend it.
Right. Okay. They're
And you got in at what price point, if you don't mind?
It was $29 and it's above $60 now.
Good for you.
How about
Good
that?
for
We'll be
you.
working for her someday, okay? Wow. By the way, just monitor that like by the hour. If that human trial of 30,000 people goes south,
I know,
I think
I'm
that's the
scared.
number, right? Yeah, but don't worry about it. At least they're doing one.
Yeah.
But, I don't pay attention to the news. We'll take a break, and we'll come back with more fun on the Mike O'Mara Show. My little joke at the end of the last segment means sometimes you can obsess on the news.
Yes.
As I may. I mean, there's engagement, and then there's obsession. There's certain times where it's
You
like,
love-
please turn that off.
Mike, I mean, you can't be faulted for loving Steve Ducey.
Got to give my Fox and Friends black. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, brought to you by Facebook Stars. Stars, they're just like us. You can see Stars on Cameo.com. Book Mike O'Mara. He's a better deal than Lance Bass. $1,250 for a 10-minute in-sync Zoom call. Boo. Boo. 10 minutes with Tony Hawk. $1,000. Rip off. And 10 minutes with Brett Favre will set you back $5,000.
Yes.
And the call will probably be incomplete. But they're stars, and you gotta love them. But those are showbiz stars. Frankly, I much prefer Facebook stars. This is working for us, and we need you to try to do a little better. We'd appreciate that. This is kind of how we're monetizing our show, one of the many ways during this pandemic. It's a super easy way to support TMOS. It's really like a donate button, but it's got stars instead.
Yes.
Right.
All you have to do is click the star, select how many stars you want to buy on Facebook, and click and send. Boom, instant gratification. Every star puts a penny in our pocket, and that adds up. If you can do it, we would appreciate it.
Yep.
Be part of the fun and Donation Nation. That's what we want you to
Yes.
join.
Yeah,
Remember, that's $5,000 for 10 minutes with Favre. And ladies, he's a man who knows how to send computer images. Be careful before you open any JPEGs. There you go. That's funny.
Just be careful. That's all I'm saying. News.
Boo. Oh, my golly. Hattie McDaniel was the first black person to win an Oscar, and she won it for playing Mammy in Gone with the Wind. Queen Latifah played Hattie in the Netflix show Hollywood. So does she have an opinion on the recent controversy over the movie? Obviously. She says, quote, "Let Gone with the Wind be Gone with the Wind." I agree. And while Hattie's Oscar triumph was historic and groundbreaking, the experience wasn't exactly magical for her. Latifah says, quote, "They didn't even let her in the theater until right before she got the award. Someone came outside and brought her into the auditorium." It's so sad.
Strange.
It is.
And
she
not
wasn't
that
even
long
allowed
ago.
to sit in there. She wasn't even allowed to sit in the auditorium where she won an Oscar. And then she had to read a speech that was written by a studio. You know, that's not what the hell she wanted to say. Then after that, all she could do was play the same kind of roles. HBO Max removed Gone with the Wind, but will bring it back with an intro that contextualizes its racially troubling elements. Yeah, blah, blah,
Damn.
blah, blah.
Damn.
Shuck it.
Yeah.
You gotta move on. You got to evolve. We have to evolve.
You have to evolve. I agree. And I think the days of it as being a motion picture for entertainment should be trashed, but you can't pretend it never existed, even if it's used as a teaching
Well, the
tool.
movie, yeah. I mean, you're right. You know what? You're right. It's like a book. It's like a book.
Yeah, but
It
they
is.
did a
It's
great
like
job,
book,
you know.
and we learned from it. And if
I
they bring
mean-
it back the way HBO Max wanted to do it, but
What
that's
about
it.
Whoopi Goldberg
Casablanca?
did-
What are we going to do there?
What's that,
that?
Oscar? I'm sorry?
What about Casablanca? What are we going to do there?
Well,
What about
that's a classic. That's a classic.
But is
and
that-
then you talk about. I think when you destroy and eradicate literature and movies from
can't-
the
it's
past,
like-
you
then
don't
we're
learn
doing
from
what-
them.
we did what we're doing what the Nazis did then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Can't do that.
They did a great thing when they released, and we talked about Warner Brothers cartoons yesterday. When they released them on DVD, Whoopi Goldberg did a sort of an introduction on every disc, and it talks about there's stuff on these cartoons that is no longer acceptable, but to somehow remove it or ignore it is to say it never happened. And if you ignore it and say it never happened, then you can't get past it.
I was,
So you don't have to
I was
celebrate
thinking
it.
about the Speedy Gonzalez option that you threw out there the other day, Rob, where is Speedy gone from these reruns of Looney Tunes because
No, as a matter
I
of
hope
fact,
not.
there's a new one. And remember when Michael said that he owned a pizza place?
Yeah.
Someone informed me there is a new Looney Tunes where he does own a pizza place.
Yeah, they're out there.
Yeah.
People have plenty of time. Invest in the stock market instead of doing that. Do something to do that. There's good news for diehard fans of tennis and competitive eating, of which there is literally zero overlap. The U.S. Open and the traditional 4th of July Nathan's hot dog eating contest will both happen this summer.
Nice.
But both will be without fans. The U.S. Open will be held in Queens, New York from August 31st through September 13th. They promise they'll take extraordinary precautions. Elton Brown. So him, that song. I'm a super smarty playing like Interestingly, just 2 months ago, the U.S. Tennis Association said that the prospect of playing without fans was a highly unlikely scenario. Meanwhile, the annual hot dog eating contest is happening at a private location. That sounds dirty. Instead of out in public on Coney Island. Thousands of people show up every year, even though watching competitive eating can be disgusting. I hate it. I hate eating contests.
Yeah,
I
always
love
have.
them.
All staffers will be wearing masks and gloves, and all eaters will be tested before. What is wrong with our country? What is
gotta
wrong
test
with
them,
our?
Mike.
Sometimes we gotta have that. We gotta have that.
This is
of all the
what's
things you could
important.
say. Yes. Come on. Why? If you're not going to have fans there, why have the eating
You know who
competition?
the real?
I know
do you know
that-
who the real winner here is? Kobayashi. Because when he retired, because the World Competitive Eating League or the Eating League of the USA would not let him do other contests, like they
Yeah,
basically
they wanted
were-
exclusivity,
Yeah.
right?
He left the sport. He left the
Oscar
sport.
is a big fan of the competitive eating.
Yeah.
He likes watching it.
And I know that a
good.
lot of the people that are going to be watching this on July 4th will be getting together in Florida bars. So watch it on television.
Shoulder
and
to
enjoy
shoulder.
it.
All right, Rob, pay attention to this because
Okay.
I'd like you to do this next week.
All right.
Mike Tyson is still in phenomenal shape.
Yes.
And fitness YouTuber Will Tennyson decided to follow his diet and workout regimen to find out if he could be like Mike. And I'd like you to try this.
All right.
Here's what Will Tennyson did with the Mike Tyson workout. His day started 4 a.m., 4-mile jog. He completed the run in about an hour and spent the next few hours showering and resting. For breakfast, he had oatmeal, milk, and daily vitamins, then did 10 rounds of sparring training, followed by a high-rep, low-weight workout, including 2,000 squats, 500 tricep extensions.
How many
500
tricep
push-ups,
extensions?
500.
500. Got it. Okay, got it.
500 shrugs with 65 pounds, and 500 neck crunches, if any of that means anything to you. For lunch, he had 150 grams of white rice and a 9-ounce chicken breast and a tall glass of orange juice. Then he did 6 more rounds of sparring and had a snack of 6 bananas and a protein shake. He finished up the rest of his workout, then ate a dinner of a 9-ounce sirloin steak, pasta, and fruit juice, then one final 30-minute run on a bicycle, an exercise bike, 30 minutes of the workout. He said the fitness guy said he's sore, his neck is stiff, and he knows he's going to be feeling it for a few days after that.
No, it's funny. I think I can probably do that because that's largely what I do anyway.
Yes, of course it is. Yes, it is. Yeah,
The 6 bananas I do.
6 bananas, right, in a sitting.
Yeah.
That's it. A survey asked 2,000 people over 50 to name the best things about getting older. I urge you guys to weigh in on whether you think I'm doing these. Here are the 5 most common answers. Number 5, I'll get my own buzzer.
Okay.
You learn to let things go. Or, in other words, you figure out what's really important and don't sweat the small stuff. That's
I would be
me.
I would say that you the buzzer's correct.
All right,
Well,
thank you.
but maybe it'll happen after the next birthday.
More independence and freedom, especially if you can retire at some point and have financial stability. I don't have either a stability or the ability to retire right now, in my opinion. But I do have freedom, and I
That's
think so.
nice.
I give myself a dinger on that one. Let's see. Having a greater sense of gratitude for the little things in life, and study after study shows the more thankful you are, the happier you are.
I see that in you.
No,
I see you. No, I do.
No.
I see you appreciating the little things in life.
No,
right.
no,
Thank
not
you,
at
Rob.
all. I mean, he just bought a smelly used car. It ruined
Yes,
his week.
but when the odor was gone, he was so
it's
happy.
not gone.
Well,
tomorrow we'll talk about the smelly used car. There's an impasse on that one. Moving on, I won't give the buzzer or the dinger. Being comfortable in your own skin. Yes, even though we stress over wrinkles, we still end up feeling more confident.
You're the most confident man I
Yes.
know at age 60. I will
And
say,
as
all right?
Jackie Gleason would say, comfortable in his own skin and so much of it.
Okay, there you go. And let's see. And number one, more life experience so you're wiser and make better
Yes.
decisions.
Sure.
I think you're in a good spot right now, Mike.
Yep.
All right.
10
I
years ago,
appreciate that.
not the same dude.
Yeah.
Hey, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Not sure how I feel about a couple of them. Back in 2002 on July 11th, which is 7/11, 7/11 held its first Free Slurpee Day.
Of course.
And they've done it again on every July 11th since, but this year isn't a typical year. Just add it to the list of the worst year in our history.
Of course.
7-Eleven just had to cancel Free Slurpee Day for the first time because of, quote, uncertainties associated with the COVID-19 pandemic. You can still get a free Slurpee this year, though, if you're a member of 7-Eleven's loyalty app. They'll send you a coupon for one that you can use at any point in July. That sucks. That's so dry.
Robert brought up an interesting thing with me a couple months ago. He said, Dad, why is it every 7-Eleven you ever go to, there's always one Slurpee flavor not working?
Or wrong.
Yes, sometimes mislabeled. It's
like
like
Blue Chill the other day when Michael got his Slurpee was by the way, now I'm thinking about Slurpees and the spike in virus cases and what were we doing with our mask when you're talking about wearing a glove and he didn't wash his hands afterward. I suck. I'm a terrible father.
No, you're fine.
And now a little something. A man in Vienna has been fined 500 euros. That's $565
All right.
for breaking wind loudly in front of police. A move that the Austrian capital's police force was at pains to defend on Tuesday. The Österreich newspaper reported the fine stemmed from an incident on June 5th, and the offender was fined for offending public decency. City police wrote on Twitter that, of course, no one is reported for accidentally letting one go. They added that the man behaved provocatively and uncooperatively during an encounter with officers. He got up from the park bench.
Park bench. Park bench.
He got up.
He got up from the park bench.
He got up off the park bench, looked at officers, let go a massive intestinal wind, apparently with full intent.
Full intent is the worst.
They also said, and our colleagues don't like to be farted at so much. That's so Austrian at the end. Our colleagues don't like to be farted at so much. Police noted that the decision could be appealed. All I know is they better be wearing masks in that courtroom. Am I right, ladies? There you go. There you go. There.
Mike,
All right.
do Austrian again and say park bench. I like that.
Park bench.
Park
Yes.
bench.
Our officers do not like to be farted at so much.
On the park bench.
Dieter, he farted at you. Put the covers on him. We'll take a break and come back with the audio vault and Rob Spivak right here on The Mike O'Mara Show. Welcome back to The Mike O'Mara Show. Coronavirus update. Hellboy star Ron Perlman and Senator Ted Cruz are having a Twitter feud.
True.
Senator Cruz suggested that they settle it with a wrestling match, which is silly. They should just have a beauty contest.
Right?
They should just have a beauty contest. Am I right, ladies? To reduce human contact, some airlines have banned alcohol service on domestic flights. No biggie, said radio's Mike O'Mara, as he booked his flight from Fort Myers to Bangor with a brief layover at Heathrow. Yeah, airlines. They're just like you. And close the lid. A computer model showed that COVID-19 can spread from particles dispersed during toilet flushing.
Ugh.
Oh, God. Really?
Yes.
It's called fecal shedding.
Yep.
The Esther is the most dangerous place on earth.
Really bad.
Unbelievable. And experts recommend corona testing for anyone who has used the WJFK men's room since 1992. However, zero fecal shedding for the TMOS bonus show.
That's good
no
news.
buts about it.
Because
It's a 6 uncensored TMOS episode every week. Just click the banner at MikeO'MaraShow.com. Also, there are nearly 500 other ones. You know that.
Yes.
www.MikeO'MaraShow, MikeO'MaraShow.com. Whatever. MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Please.
Stop doing that. It confuses me.
Okay.
I'm Mike O'Mara. I guarantee it. Now back to Deputy Dog, already in progress. Let's open up the... Can't do the suck-in part anymore. That's old. That's old right there. I used to go...
Not a great cartoon. Not a great cartoon.
I got a bike.
There was Trump signed an executive order yesterday about policing, and I just think that it's great that he promises us more law and order.
Americans want law and order. They demand law and order.
That's my highlight from the clip. All right. We talked about how it annoys us when people say thank you and people do not return with "you're welcome." But I think thank you is very key, and that's why I think this was trending on YouTube yesterday. It was under the politest kid ever, an adorable little kid that every time his mom did something for him, he said thank you.
Do you want strawberry milk?
Yeah. Thank you, Mama. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mama.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mama.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mama.
You're welcome. Go eat with Daddy. Bye.
What did he say to his dad?
Thank you, Dada. That's
I
so
adore
sweet.
that. I
love it, too.
That's
so sweet.
As a parent, numero uno, that's what it starts.
Yeah.
Starts young, and it's drilled into the
Super
And
sweet.
I still have to remind at 6 years old, especially when we're out at a restaurant with masks on.
Yeah, that's true.
Never again.
As we talk parenting, we all know that Father's Day is coming up this Sunday, and everybody is jumping on the Father's Day train, including, are you familiar with a father that has a son named Bo and a son named Tate?
No.
Oh,
No, that would be, of course, Luke Bryan, who has come out with a new record entitled Build Me a Daddy.
Could you build me a daddy? Strong as Superman.
Luke, what are you doing, man?
All right, you know what? Yeah, no one has more relentlessly pursued a campaign to make me dislike someone, and
finally done it.
won.
He's done it.
He's won. He has
He's done
it. And that is just. I'm with you. I'm
Bo
with
and
you
Tate are
1,000.
in the video. He put
Of
Bo and
course
Tate in the
they
video.
are.
Okay.
All right. What
All
a
right.
hack.
All right. This is important.
Build me a daddy nice and strong, who's nice to my mama day.
All right,
God.
we close with this. This was trending on YouTube yesterday. It's a comic named Rodney Norman. If you want to know what's going on right now in the world, go to someone who has wisdom. Go to an older American, and they'll explain exactly what's going on.
So some people were, they were doing some stuff, and then other people were like, "Hey, don't do that stuff," and then other people were like, "Hey, yeah, they should do, that stuff. It's good that they're doing that stuff," and then the other people were like, "I don't think they should be doing that stuff," and so what I'm trying to say is that, in conclusion, I have no idea.
So that's what's going on. Glad we were able to understand it. That's your Magic Audio Vault. Have a great Wednesday, everybody.
There we go. Welcome to
They're
Florida,
doing some
everybody.
stuff.
Yeah, see you at the rally. All right, excellent. Looking forward to that. Anyway, we got to get out of here at another show tomorrow. And don't forget to contact Rob if you'd like to be on TMOS Talking Heads on Friday. We appreciate that. And thanks for the Facebook stars, folks.
Yeah,
we really
love
do
it.
appreciate you helping us out. Everybody needs a little extra help, including TMOS, so please do that for us. For Rob Spiewak and Mr. Rob Spiewak and also Oscar Santana, that's his name. This is Mike O'Mara. I'm in an 8-hour fast, and I am like seeing stars right now. I am
They're
16
just like
and 8.
us.
Carla, the 6 hours work better for me. We'll talk about my fasting tomorrow. I got 2 more hours that I got to go. So long, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Before you go, please make a mental note. Today's show was made possible by the TMOS bonus packages. You can secure yours right now by going to MikeO'MaraShow.com and clicking on the red bonus banner. Buy it or give it. Either way, you're helping out TMOS, and that's a good thing. Thank you, and go in peace.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
So what do you want me to do, drop my pants or fire a rocket?
I'm a phony, just like you.
Bye-bye.